Dunfermline is a city steeped in history. It is the birthplace of industrialist Andrew Carnegie and the burial place of King Robert the Bruce, hero of Bannockburn. A new chapter is about to begin in Dunfermline's history with the construction of a new museum and gallery. Situated between the Carnegie Library and Dunfermline Abbey, the museum will be in the historic heart of the city. Before construction begins, archaeologists will be investigating the site, looking for clues as to how the site was used in the past. A small-scale excavation in 2011 unearthed foundations of a building, medieval pottery fragments and part of a medieval hair comb. The new excavation covers a much larger site and will last for 5 weeks. It's week 2 of Dig Dunfermline and the volunteers have arrived and have begun digging and sifting through the tons of soil. Already, a number of interesting finds have been made.
Okay, well, my name's Darren McWilliam. I'm volunteering on the Dig Dunfermline site behind the library here. And we had a great first day yesterday. We found quite an array of items in a quite a mixed up level that we're working in at the moment. You can see from this tray we found interesting items such as the lower part of a cat's jaw. We found some green glazed ware, which apparently it's medieval, but it's quite local to this area. We found some a pot rim, quite a lot of worked animal bone. This has obviously been butchered and eaten. Some quite large pieces. And we also found a clay pipe, which again is local. It was made in Dysart, not too far from here. And the other thing we found was lots and lots of shells, lots of different types. This is basically because when these were eaten, medieval period, these were considered food for the poor. Whereas now we see them as quite a luxury item. They were eaten generally by everybody because they were free and they were from the Forth River. We're also finding quite a lot of this blue and white ware, again mixed in the top layer of rubble. And I think the most important find yesterday was a small coin. We haven't had it fully dated yet, so I can't give you too many details. I think that's about it.
The dig site has attracted a lot of attention from the public. Free guided tours of the site begin at 11:30 each morning, Wednesday to Saturday, starting outside Abbot House.
There are tours every day that the dig takes place, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The tour takes in the ground floor of Abbot House and Abbot House Garden to talk a bit about the dig that took place in 1992 there, to provide some context for the dig that's taking place today. We're at the early stages at the moment, but we're already finding interesting stuff. We're already getting down to some medieval materials, finding some medieval pottery, bones and so forth, so it's going to get more and more interesting over the next few weeks. So come and enjoy a tour and enjoy the dig.
My name is Alan Calder, and as a volunteer I'm presently doing washing of finds and bagging the various classes of material and labelling the boxes in accordance with whatever has come out from the site, from the diggers on site. So all the finds are treated in such a way they're first washed, then bagged and classified depending on the material which has come out.
Dig Dunfermline continues despite a change in the weather for the worse. More topsoil has been removed mechanically to allow access to the layers beneath. More building foundations have been revealed and more volunteers have joined the group.
I'm Geraldine. This is my second day on the dig. Yesterday I started and it rained all day, but everybody was on the site carrying on as usual, having a great time, up to our ankles in mud. Quite a few finds yesterday from the wall at the back. but we're concentrating on this other end of the wall because there's quite a few things come out of the wall yesterday. There's been quite a bit of bone, pottery, some iron pieces, some very, for some work pottery, which has been identified by the pottery guy this morning as medieval. We're really enjoying it. We're working with the people as a team, and it doesn't seem like work. Yesterday when I was going home, I was, do I have to go?
Over the past few weeks, a number of experts have arrived on site to help shed some light on the artefacts found so far, as Catherine Smith explains.
Well, today's interesting finds. We've got two things to show you today, which we're really quite excited about. And the first thing is this piece of stonework or stone moulding. You see it's got a label on it because we need to keep the context information with it. That's the archaeological part. But if I turn it round, you can see it's a carved stone. It's what we call a stone moulding. And we're hoping very much that that will turn out to be part of the medieval abbey over there. Because as you know, the abbey suffered a couple of bouts of destruction, and a lot of the stonework was taken away because the people of Dunfermline obviously saw that there was nice stone here, and they took the masonry away and they reused it in a lot of the buildings in Dunfermline. So we're hoping to have an expert on ecclesiastical architecture, who's quite famous, who would come and look at this and tell us whether it's part of the abbey or not, in his opinion. And the second thing that we've got that is really nice, if I turn it around you can see it's a squared off piece of baked material, which is actually a floor tile. And if I turn that around you can see it's got a nice shiny green glaze on it. Well, we've had our ceramics expert Derek Hall ring this morning, and he was quite interested in this, and he said he thought that it wasn't made locally like the pottery that we were talking about earlier, but that it was made somewhere like the Low Countries, which means it was made in Flanders or Belgium, and that could well have been part of the medieval abbey as well, and that was part of the floor surface. The shiny surface is what you walked on. Now, as somebody pointed out, you would have to be quite careful because if it was wet you might skate across it. So these are our two interesting finds for today.
What my colleagues are doing here is what's known as a section drawing. So what they'll be doing is recording all of the stones in this culvert from the yellow string that you may just be about to see. They set up tapes to give the change points, and we'll be drawing it on a scale of 1 to 10. Which means that when it comes time to doing the illustrations on a computer, it can be blown up to give an accurate scale of the wall. Some of the stones on the wall have some decoration on it, which is taking up some time doing measurements, getting that exactly right on the scale.
So here we are at the end of September 2013. The plan is to open the new museum and gallery and library complex in 2016. It seems like a long time to go, but there's an awful lot of work that has to be done between now and then. So the next thing that will happen is that we'll start preparing 5 to 7 Abbott Street for demolition, because there has to be things like asbestos surveys and so on. And then that building will be mostly demolished apart from the main facade, and then the new building will be slotted inside. Construction work on the extension starts, well, the plan is it will start in April 2014, and then by the end of 2015 you should be able to see the new building, and at that point the construction gets handed back to us, and then we need time to fit it out. So that means things like putting in fire alarm systems and reception desks, but even more exciting than that, putting in the new museum displays. This is a very, very complicated project, and it's got lots of different teams. So we've got the architects, obviously, and the designers, engineers and quantity surveyors, and even finance people. But the team I'm responsible for is Leslie McNaughton and Shahana Palik, and a whole crowd of volunteers, and our job is to get the people of Dunfermline to get involved with their new museum. So what we'll be doing over the next 2 years is a lot of research into the content of the new museum displays and a lot of talking to as many people who live here as possible. There is so much to be done between now and 2016 when we open, but I know that everybody's hard work is going to make this exciting project a fantastic new museum, library and galleries, something that this town definitely deserves.